Alright, been a little bit, but we're back to do another video. Today we're going to be doing the EP Mantis Shrimp here. Just a nice little fly for bonefish or redfish, whatever you want to throw it at. I'm going to start out just with some Danville 140. And I'm just going to start out with a white. So we're going to go a couple eye lengths back, maybe just one or two eye lengths back. And I'm going to keep this one light today just because I'm going to be throwing this at triple tail, but you make it as heavy or as light as you want. So this will just be medium brass dumbbells here. Go ahead and get these on with some X-wraps. Get those nice and secure on the hook. I'm using white thread, even though this is going to be kind of a tannish pattern, just because at the end of this I'm going to color the thread, and I don't want the, if I used green thread or something on this whole fly, then it'd kind of show through, and I really don't want it to. But it won't show through really with the white. So we're going to work our thread back kind of to the bend here. And first material we're going to get is some Arctic Fox. So we've got some light tan Arctic Fox here. And we're going to get ourselves a nice little clump. Just find a good little piece to cut off. Looks like a good section. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of comb out some of that underfur you can see on there. So just kind of hold it and comb that out. See, we kind of got a lot of underfur out of that. Kind of pick a little bit more underfur out. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take it and I'm just going to align the tips by pulling out the longer fibers here. So this is going to end up being the mouth of our shrimp, so we don't really want a lot of these longer fibers hanging out. We want them all to be roughly about the same size. You can see that looks pretty good right there. And then we don't want, and we're going to go ahead and tie this on the back of the hook, but we don't want it extending too far back. We want this to stay pretty close to the body on this fly. And go ahead and kind of, I got too much on there, or too far back. What I want. That should be about right. We're just going to tie this right down the bend of our hook here. Get nice and tight. And go ahead and clip our excess out. Nice. Alright. So next thing we're going to do is do our antenna. So I'm going to do our antenna with these round rubber legs like I have. Just going to pull one out here so I can get the full length. I'm pulling all these out. Full one out. Alright. I'm just going to take that and double it around my hook and tie it right along the body here. I like these round rubber legs. They seem to look pretty decent as an antenna, and I didn't want to use the same legs that I'm going to be using for the claws. So, kind of get those on there. And you can kind of let these be as long or as short as you want them. I'm just going to kind of trim them maybe about a hook length long. I don't know if I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is a size 2 Ahrex SA 220. Nice little size for redfish or bonefish. You could make this pattern in a size 4 if you wanted to. Probably be better for bonefish in a smaller size, and redfish here in this little bit bigger size. Oop, I already got one. So next thing we're going to do is we got some EP tarantula brush. This is an orange. And this is going to be our egg sac. And I'm sure as a lot of you have noticed, the prices on the EP brushes have gone up. I'm going to try to do a video here soon of how to make these EP tarantula brushes. They're really easy to make. That's kind of the way that I've been going about it recently, is just make my own. They're easy enough. So we're going to give this a couple wraps here. Four should do it. And kind of get our thread back over there and capture that. You don't need too much of each color of this tarantula brush that we're going to use. Just enough to kind of show through. Then we'll take our bad scissors and cut it out of there. Come back and kind of clean that up a little bit. Good deal. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is add our eyes. And we are going to go with these glitter ruby crustacean eyes. These are the same crustacean eyes that we've had on the site, but these are the new glitter ones that we got. I really like the way these look. I'm pretty excited to see how they end up doing. We're going to do one on each side. I want it just a little bit past the orange, but definitely not past our Arctic fox there. So we'll tie one in here on this side. And cut out our excess. And then we will cut, and then we'll tie one in right on the other side. You can kind of see that tarantula brush really helps already splay the eyes out a little bit for you. You can just come in here and add a couple wraps behind. Do about 6 wraps behind each mono stem on each side. You can see now it's starting to look a little shrimpy there. So the next thing we're going to add is we're going to get some more of this EP tarantula brush, but this time we're going to go with our chartreuse color. I always like having a little bit of chartreuse on these shrimp flies. I think it just adds a nice little color contrast, especially right next to the orange, and then eventually with the tan body that's going to go on here. Get that out of the way. And again, we'll probably give this, around four turns or so. Just kind of pulling the fibers back each time. Now let's go with 3. Sometimes these brushes, when they make them, some brushes are a little thicker than others. So just kind of eyeball it. This one, a lot of my flies that I've been tying with this pattern have been 4, but this one's going to be 3. We don't want too much on there. Again, we'll come in with our bad scissors and cut that out. And we'll tie back up on it just like we did with the orange. There, see, it's starting to get that little shrimpy look. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to get some more legs. These are pumpkin and orange legs. So pumpkin with the orange tips. We're going to grab 2 legs out of here. We're going to make these into little claws. So we're just going to tie a little half hitch on each side, right where the pumpkin starts to meet the orange. And we're going to kind of give it that little claw feel. Alright, and then we'll just kind of cut it. It has a little claw effect. This fly I started making, it was a EP fly that they have on their site, and they use their EP claws on it, but I think those are just too big to have on a fly this size, and I like these claws, claws doing it this way a little better. So we're just going to tie one going down one side, come back, and we'll tie one going down the other side. And just to make sure, I want these legs to kind of stick up a little bit, so just to finish them off a little bit, we're going to pull up on them as they get right up against the tarantula brush there. So we'll kind of hook them on the eyes here so they're out of our way, and we'll move on to our next material. So next material we're going to do is the EP woolly critter brush. And I know you guys are probably like, man, this fly is going to be super expensive if I buy all this from EP, but again, this is the exact same brush really as the tarantula brush, just the fibers are a little thicker and the legs are a little longer. Just as easy to make yourself, I mean not too hard. So go ahead and get that tied in. And we'll work our way to the front there. Jump up here. So I like using you could use tarantula brush for this step, but I like the woolly critter brush just for these longer legs and a little bit thicker body. We're just going to go ahead and palmer this in. You can kind of make the body as thick as you want. I don't get super tight with the wraps here. I kind of just loosely one in front of the other, not super tight. Remember, each time just kind of stroking some of those fibers back. Use the brush to your advantage as much as you can here. And when we get up to the front of this fly, we're just going to jump right over the eyes and capture this right here on the front. And we got this little dubbing tool here, kind of, any of those trap fibers, you can get them out with this and get some of those trap legs out of there as well. There we go. I like to come in here and just give this just a little bit of a trim on the top and on the bottom. Kind of make this lay a little flatter. It's nice for when this fly is just laying on the bottom, it'll actually just lay there instead of kind of fall into its side. This little trim. But you get to keep all those legs on the side of your pattern. All this is just going to be extra movement there for you. Optional step right there. You can do it, you can not do it. It's completely up to you. So now we're gonna add one more set of legs. So this time we've got this barred pumpkin instead of our pumpkin with the hot tips. This is just gonna be barred pumpkin. Adds a nice little contrast. So we got 2 legs here, and we're gonna tie this right on top of the fly. Again, we're just going to double it over our thread. Then we're going to kind of split them and kind of tie them in splayed like this so they fall to each side of the fly. There we go. And then I like to cut these kind of right about even with where my antenna were. So you can see now those are fall into each side of the fly really easily like that. Then our last step, again optional, I like adding a weed guard on this fly. This one I'll end up cutting off. I'm just going to do one for the video since this is getting thrown at triple tail. But always nice to have the weed guard on there, and then if you don't need it, just cut it off while you're on the boat. Real simple to do. So all we did was we just took our pliers and mashed down a little piece of this 30-pound mono. Just a little long on our mashed piece. So we just mashed it down to give ourselves a nice little point that we can tie on. We'll go ahead and tie right over that. Kind of get a couple wraps behind it. And go ahead and trim our weed guard. We don't need it super high there. And we'll give our fly a whip finish. And we'll just come in with our lighter real quick. Any of these little trap fibers here on the front, just burn them out. And then, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm just going to come in and take a marker and kind of make the head on this fly green. I didn't want to use green thread because I don't like it if it shows through the EP brush. So just go ahead and color this green. Takes all 5 seconds, and then you don't have to carry a whole bunch of different color threads. You can just have white. And then the last thing we'll do is we'll just take a little bit of Deercreek Sculpt here. To use the same EP on this fly now. And we'll just add a little bit of Deercreek Sculpt to our thread wraps. Make this fly just super durable. Give that a second just to kind of soak into the thread. And then we'll hit it with our UV light. Should be good. And that's it. That's our EP Mantis Shrimp. Great fly for doing redfish and bonefish, and probably throw that at a permit and get him to eat it. All kinds of different stuff. Yeah. And if you guys are interested, like I said, we've got these glitter eyes now on the site. We just added a bunch of materials. And yeah, I mean, if you are one of the guys out there who's worried about like EP prices going up, definitely go check out our site. We're trying to add materials all the time that I'm sourcing myself and trying to pass the cost savings of buying it in bulk for you guys. So definitely got some great materials on there, trying to get more and more all the time. And if there's a material on there that you're trying to find that I don't have yet, by all means leave a comment or reach out to me on my site, and I'll try to carry it for you. So anyways, tie one of these little mantis shrimps up and go have fun with it. So, see you later.